You're watching Alaska's news source.
Here it comes.
Today on the Morning Edition, a powerful shake and the warning heard around the state. We'll show you the moment the earthquake struck Southwest Alaska and how residents reacted.
Plus, camping in certain spots is now a misdemeanor crime in Anchorage, but how exactly will it be enforced? We'll break down what the new ordinance means, where it applies, and how it could impact those living in the streets.
And later, one of the coolest big screen weapons of all time is expected to bring big bucks at auction as the Morning Edition starts now. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up and joining us here on this Thursday. Kind of coming off a crazy day for yesterday.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people across, state, even South Central got some of those alerts, but it ended up being no risk. Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah, we did see that tsunami warning, which was downgraded to a tsunami advisory. We did see a peak tsunami at about 0.4 feet out towards Cold Bay, or Sandpoint, I should say. Magnitude 7.3 is what we did see yesterday. That occurred shortly after 12:30 yesterday afternoon at a depth of about 9 miles. That's what spawned those tsunami warnings across a large portion of coastal regions from the Aleutians out towards Kodiak and parts of South Central. Very shallow earthquake up to a depth of about 9 miles. Now, since then, we have seen numerous aftershocks, magnitude 3.0 to 3.9. So far, we've seen 19 total. Magnitude 4.0 to 4.9, we've seen 14 total. And a magnitude 5.0 to 5.9, we've seen 5 additional of those aftershocks. Now, there's about an 80% chance we'll continue to see magnitude 5.0 to 5.9 within the next week. And of course, about a 99% chance we'll continue to see ongoing 3.0 to 4.9 earthquakes. There's only about a 2% chance within the next week that we'll see another magnitude 7.0. So the vast majority of the Aleutians largely expected to see magnitude these aftershocks anywhere from about 3.0 to 4.9. So we'll still see some of those shaking grounds as you head out towards the Aleutians with those ongoing aftershocks. Waking up this morning, 55 degrees in South Central. We will see some sunshine returning to the region. Statewide, we're still holding on to those temperatures in the 40s and the 50s as we wake up this morning. Still holding on to cloud coverage across the state. We are watching some incoming rain that will continue to grip areas of western and southwest Alaska. Largely on the dry side here in South Central, but we could see some spot showers this morning, a better chance that we could see some rain as we welcome in our Friday. I'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast coming up.
Shaking. That was a pretty big one. It's still going.
A powerful earthquake rattles southwest Alaska. That exact moment caught on camera as residents across the region heard tsunami sirens and received an urgent alert to move to higher ground.
The now canceled tsunami warning and advisory had many on edge. Residents in Sandpoint saying they felt back-to-back aftershocks in the aftermath.
It took a little while after the earthquake to kind of settle. I just felt a little shaken. And my mom expressed the same thing the whole time we were at her house. She's like, I just feel shaken and just agitated. And but now I've kind of calmed down. I came home.
And nearby Port Moller also felt the rumble.
One man who lives in the area during the summer said even his 1-year-old daughter knew something wasn't right.
At first she was playing, and then, as it started picking up, she just kind of looked up and then was just still and just stared at us to see what our reaction was going to be. And so we just came over and stood near her, and she just watched us, just frozen, was kind of curious what she would do in an earthquake situation. She just kind of waited to see our reactions.
As we know, earthquakes are unpredictable, but something we can prepare for, but that doesn't make them any less scary. You can see in this video from Unalaska, folks there moving to higher ground as boats started making their way back in just after the warning was canceled. While the threat from a tsunami is over, the ground shook with aftershocks for several hours after the initial shake. The Alaska Earthquake Center says that's to be expected.
Fully expected for an earthquake like this to have continued activity over the coming days, weeks, and even months. We expect the vast majority of those, if not all of those earthquakes, to be smaller in size.
And while there was no danger to Homer, the Homer Spit did evacuate after initial warnings went out. Mayor Rachel Lord says it was out of an abundance of caution, especially with more tourists around this time of year.
There is just one road on and off the Spit, which makes moving people and equipment a challenge. Some residents are happy people took the warning seriously, just in case.
I guess it's a good exercise. I guess people should really take it seriously when that happens. It's like maybe it might not happen, but, you just never know. When people were here in 1964, they take it seriously. So I listen to those guys, right?
Meantime, public media leaders continue to emphasize the importance of public media communications in cases of things like earthquakes and tsunamis. This as the Senate passed President Trump's $9 billion rescissions package early this morning. The 51-48 vote after more than 12 hours of amendments. The package aims at clawing back money already allocated for public radio and television. Alaska has 27 public media stations. A large number of them service small or remote communities. Public media leaders and advocates say those stations are some of the first lines of defense communities have when disaster strikes. Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski are the only members of the GOP in the chamber who did not support the package. It now moves to the House.
We're learning more about how a federal funding freeze is cutting into Anchorage School District staffing. The Anchorage School District was slated to receive about $14 million from that education funding, which it had already budgeted for. But because of the funding freeze, they announced that 34.5 full-time positions would be eliminated. We're told most of the educators in those positions were able to be relocated, but 5 of them were laid off. Since the district was already facing a budget shortfall, parents, teachers, and students anticipate major impacts to the classrooms.
We are absolutely squeezing students and families. We're absolutely making it more challenging for student outcomes. We're increasing class size. We are decreasing our competitiveness.
They take away from resources that they could have. They stretch the teacher thin. It makes it almost impossible to have a conducive learning environment. So I'm wary this year, and I'm very concerned.
24 states have sued the federal government to compel them to renew the funding, though Alaska is not one of them. Additionally, Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski joined several other Republican senators in opposition to the freeze, but time is ticking as Anchorage schools start in less than a month. Anchorage Police Chief Sean Case says he doesn't expect to arrest many homeless people, despite the fact that the Assembly passed an ordinance to make public camping illegal in certain areas of the city.
Lauren Maxwell sat down with the chief to find out more about how the ordinance will be enforced.
Currently, APD patrol officers don't respond to homeless camps unless there's a criminal complaint. But now that camping in certain spots is a misdemeanor crime, the chief says officers will respond, but will try and bring in specialized units that can help connect people to services instead of arresting them.
The end goal is to try to get people help, keep them out of the criminal justice system, reduce victimization. When I hear conversations about their concern with over-enforcement, that's just not the philosophy that we have in Anchorage at all.
The new ordinance prohibits public camping within several hundred feet of trails, streets, playgrounds, and schools, with a maximum fine of $500 or jail time. But what the ordinance doesn't do is tell people where they can camp legally. It's a big concern for Midtown Assemblymember Aaron Baldwin-Day, who was one of 5 Assembly members who voted against the ordinance.
And there are people who would prefer a safer way to camp and to remain outdoors. And I don't think we've provided that option yet. And I think it's an important piece of the puzzle. I don't believe it's a silver bullet, but I do believe it's something that's important to have, especially if we're going to criminalize camping in these places.
Baldwin-Day is working on an ordinance that would establish sanctioned camping in Anchorage. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
A public dashboard is being planned to show how the new ordinance is working. The dashboard will have numbers on how many people have been arrested, have moved on, or received help in a given month.
Well, coming up, President Trump is doubling down on tariffs as American consumers face higher prices.
We'll break down what will cost you more and ways consumers can feel better about their wallet during times of economic uncertainty.
Sunshine makes a return to South Central today, but we are watching that chance for more showers looking possible into our Friday. I'll have more on that, but first the sunrise, 4:57 in Anchorage, 4:20 in Juneau. The forecast is next.
Good morning, everyone. Back on your Thursday, and we've got a bear and some salmon as well. Yay.
Yeah, look at that. Morning meal.
First early bird gets the salmon.
Love being able to just watch them do their thing out in nature. And that water probably a little bit on the cold side. Those temperatures this morning are still across the state sitting in the 40s and the 50s. One new thing to bring you this morning, burn permit suspensions have been lifted for the Kenai, Kodiak, and the Matsu areas. That's effective as of yesterday. Now, with that said, the current fire danger for the vast majority of South Central is sitting on the moderate side. But this is denoting the highest fire danger for South Central, which is very high. That's out towards the Valdez-Copper River Basin. So you still want to make sure that you use caution when it comes to burning, even though those burn permit suspensions have been lifted. We're also seeing some improving smoky conditions across the state. Notice most of the smoke we're seeing is out towards northwestern parts of the state as you head out towards the Yukon-Koyukuk region. This is largely due to the Gold Run Complex fire that we're continuing to see gripping areas of northwestern Alaska. But you can see a good portion of the state seeing some improving conditions. This comes from wetting rains. Those rains certainly help filter out. That's a natural filtration process in our atmosphere, which helps filter out those pollutants, that smoke, drive it to the surface, and it cleans that air. So you're breathing easier through a large portion of the state. Still holding on to some lingering showers out towards southwest Alaska. This coming off of that low pressure system we did see yesterday that brings some light rain showers to South Central as well. Notice the low itself that has moved inland and it's kind of fizzling out with those rain showers. So we will see that rain gradually coming to an end, but still expected to hold on to mostly cloudy skies for a good portion of southwest Alaska, although we could see some sunshine returning throughout the day. But that rain will gradually taper off throughout the rest of our Thursday and into the evening hours. Notice, though, short-lived dry time to be expected as we'll see additional rain showers building back in across southwest. Into the afternoon and evening hours. This system will potentially bring us some light rain to parts of South Central through the day tomorrow. Very light activity to be expected out towards coastal regions of the Kenai. We'll hold on to some isolated to scattered showers, which likely will stick around through at least the afternoon and early evening hours. Not everyone's going to see those showers. They're really just going to be some isolated to scattered activity, while most of the state largely staying on the dry side outside of the Bering Sea, the Aleutians, and western parts of the state where we're going to continue to hold on to that active weather. Mid to upper 60s looking possible today. I can't rule out some spot showers through at least the afternoon hours. Otherwise, we are going to stay dry here across South Central. You can see those highs across the state, 42 in Utqiagvik, 59 in Nome. Some rain continuing out towards southwest, and clouds will stream back in across the Panhandle, largely expecting just some spotty to isolated showers here over the next couple of days. So temperatures warming into the low to mid 60s. Some locations could warm near 70 degrees, but we are going to backtrack some of those temperatures the next couple of days. But again, still feeling quite nice outdoors, and you are catching, still holding on to those drier conditions. 50s and 60s across the Gulf Coast region. We've got 62 in Whittier, 61 in Cordova, 72 in Golcana. So we are seeing that return to sunshine across South Central. A decent chance that we could top out near 70 in the valley, while here in Anchorage, we'll warm into the mid 60s. Better chance as we close the door on this week and welcome in next week that we could see a decent run with daily highs topping out near, if not into the lower 70s next week.
Inflation ticked up in June for the first time since February. That is according to the latest Consumer Price Index report released Tuesday. And with President Trump threatening another round of tariffs on the European Union and Mexico, experts worry that prices could go up even more in the coming months. Jen Sullivan breaks it down.
Shoppers are paying more for a variety of items. The latest Consumer Price Index report released Tuesday shows overall prices are 2.7% higher than a year ago and rose 0.3% last month. The CPI measures price changes month to month for everything from energy to housing costs.
It's probably one of the most telegraphed inflation increases that we've had.
Stephen Cates with Bankrate says these latest numbers show how President Donald Trump's tariffs are impacting prices. When you break down this latest report, the cost of many key categories has gone up. Shoppers are really feeling the price hikes at the grocery store.
There are certain things that we cannot grow in the U.S., and added costs to import those from other countries is going to hit the grocery stores and going to hit your wallet.
President Trump wants to add 30% tariffs on products from Mexico and the European Union. And while that will likely generate revenue for the U.S. economy, experts say consumers could see prices rise even more.
If we layer on new tariffs on top of them, that's going to be some added fuel to the fire.
So what can consumers do to try and scale back spending? Cook at home. The average price to eat at a restaurant has increased more than the average cost to eat at home, according to this latest report. Kate says growing your own savings can help you feel more positive during economic uncertainty.
People who are able to put a little bit of money away into a high yield savings account, CDs, treasury bonds, you're getting a really healthy yield compared to where we were over the last, 15 years.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.